Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here Sunday morning, and we're on a 2 day break from games. And when we have days off, I'm going to play trivia. So trivia is not always going to be on Tuesday. It may be on other days of the week, like today. It's on a Sunday. So yeah, we're going to play trivia today. But before we do that, I always do about 5-10 minutes of news and notes, just things that are going on around places. This may be a good time for us to talk about the fantasy league and different things like that. But let me just check in with you guys. I see that you guys are talking about Josh Primo already this morning. And yeah, maybe I can illuminate some things for Duke Rocks here. Good morning, Mike. Please don't block me, O.G. Plumbing. Yeah, that block is a great picture for this stream today. I love it. Yeah, don't worry about the T minus. It's not required, but I like that you do that from time to time. Although I try to keep it guessing, especially on game day. Tomorrow, it will not be right away. Watch. Duke Rocks is saying, logical. Did you hear about Josh Primo getting waived? And Duke Rocks, he's saying, yeah. Logical saying, yeah. And the reason is nuts. Not going to lie. And that's a little joke by Mike there. And I get it. It's funny. It's a good little pun. But Duke saying, yeah, but what does exposed mean? Dude is a flasher. Very simply put, Duke Rocks, yes. Josh Primo is one of these dudes who likes to accidentally have his dick hanging out for somebody to see it. And that apparently this has been a pattern that he's been doing for years now. There was a accusation by a hotel worker in Minnesota, a housekeeper, that she came into the room and he basically flashed her his stuff. And he has a pattern of this, apparently, that he's done it to athletic staff, female staff in the Spurs organization. And one of them now has a case against him for it. Like, she's gone and got a lawyer and she's coming after him for it. So yeah, it's that kind of thing. And it's gross and it's messed up. And it's sad because this young dude is doing this to people that are victims that do not want this to happen, obviously. So that is exactly what it is. And that's why he got cut. Now, he said, like I said in the stream yesterday, that it was mental trauma that he's been dealing with. And it could very well be that he has some sort of messed up like history with sexual abuse towards him that makes him kind of act this way. But, he still shouldn't be doing this. And in today's NBA, this, maybe have gotten away with. This is the kind of shit Peyton Manning was doing when he was younger, not gonna lie. This like 20, 30 years ago, Peyton Manning did this very same shit and they'd cover it up and not do anything about it. So yeah, it's awful. And he should, the Spurs are a good organization and they don't want to have anything to do with them. And that is why. And hopefully he can get help and maybe never do this anymore again and stuff like that. It's just a mess. It's too bad. He's so young and he's throwing away, like as somebody put it on Twitter, generational wealth. And it's really just because he's being kind of perverted is basically what it is. Yeah. So there you go, Duke. There's the scoop on that. Good morning, Tom Duke. I see that you have rebus language out there. Let me see if I can decipher this. You have two nuts. They're on the ends, a coconut. It looks like you have nuts and bolts, just nuts in general. Nuts Emporium by Tom Duke here. Interesting. Mike's saying he's pretty much hood, man, and makes his move by pulling the snake and some. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, we don't have to go into the details in this kind of way. Let's see. Yeah, you're really kind of like, yeah, giving the full details, and we don't want to know that. Duke can read that. We'll just let him do that. All right, enough about Josh Primo. That is sad, and it's too bad that he's from Toronto, that he's a Canadian. That I don't like that association with us. Okay, so last night was the annual Halloween party for the Raptors, and I've seen some of the costumes. There really aren't many pictures or clips or anything coming out from their Halloween party last night. Well, there were a few. There's at least a couple of costumes I can confirm. Pascal Siakam dressing as 50 Cent last night. And yeah, it's pretty good costume. Looked pretty good. kind of cool. And then we had Chris Boucher as a very scary, messed up clown, like a scary, like psycho clown, and Rico Hines too, dressed in that way. So those are the only three costumes I've seen from last night. But I do know the Raptors probably had their annual Halloween party, costume party last night. And we may be seeing more footage of it through Open Gym or something like that later down the road, like we did last year when Pascal dressed up as McLovin and Scotty was the Joker, Heath Ledger Joker, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what's to expect. Kind of content, Halloween content will probably, hopefully, be coming out at some point. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we just see the little bit we saw from last night and stuff like that. Let's keep going. As far as like just NBA stuff, the Nets lost again last night to the Pacers, and it's a disaster. The Nets have had a meeting with Steve Nash, and they are just embarrassed, and they don't feel like things are right with them. And this is exactly how I predicted their season would start and go. And add into the mix Kyrie jumping on the Kanye West anti-Semitic train that's going on right now. That's so stupid and messed up. Yeah, Kyrie and Kanye are idiots. They're being used by bad people as mouthpieces to spread hate. And at this point, it is just messed up. And Kyrie is not apologizing for him promoting anti-Semitic book and Move Me. In fact, he doubled down on it last night, saying that he believes in that book and that there's nothing wrong with it, and that he believes in free speech. And even though Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, is coming down on him and saying this, I don't know what's going to happen with this. You see what's happening with Kanye as far as he's getting canceled. Adidas dropped him. All these other companies have dropped him. His school has been closed. He's losing money and all this kind of stuff. And rightfully so for the hate that he's kind of spreading. And he's really being a tool for MAGA at this point. It's sad and pathetic that Kanye is allowing himself to be used and brought down like this. Well, Kyrie is very much similar to this. And he's going to this is the new headache for them. Instead of the coronavirus not taking the vaccine headache of last year, this year it's going to be his anti-Semitic bullshit being around the team and stuff like that. It's really too bad, Kyrie, that you're such an idiot. You are so dumb. Like, you may be one of the most talented ball handlers in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, but you may be one of the stupidest NBA players also. And I honestly, in some ways, I want the Nets to kind of like cut ties with him in a certain degree, just because he's not really apologetic about this. And they really are reinforcing this hate that's going on around right now, Kanye and them. And it's just sad. It's sad right now. And I hate it. I hate it. All right, I'll read a little bit. I'm not going to read all the Josh Primo stuff, Mike. I know you're enjoying talking about it and stuff like that, but there's no place for it on my stream, just to be quite honest. And like, I know it's funny and stuff like that to you, but I really don't. Like, this isn't, I mean, it is what it is and stuff like that. It's all good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you have friends that do that? Ew, yeah, that's gross, man. All right, yeah, I don't want to know about all that. All right, Cowboys saying, Yaga, Yaga, you good. Good morning, Lex and everybody. Good morning, Bradley. Tada, it's 416. He can help you out. Let's see. Pacers aren't tanking. Their owner doesn't like to tank, hence me thinking they would want former Hoosier OG. You know, it's interesting that the Pacers and the Spurs aren't really tanking at this point. Logical. It's interesting because they're playing quite well. It's weird. You know, teams that maybe didn't intend to tank are actually unintentionally tanking. Like, I know Laker Nation's all about tanking for Victor at this point. And the Nets Nation probably is starting to feel like that a little bit themselves, seeing as the only game they've won is the one game against us. I really feel bad that we keep giving these teams that are struggling in the East some feel good, whether it was Miami last weekend, Brooklyn, that one win that they got against us, and now Philadelphia has gotten things going after beating us on Friday night. They went to Chicago and beat the Bulls in the second night of a back-to-back last night, and Embiid did return and play with them. So, yeah, I don't like helping these teams feel better and get up off out of the mud and stuff like that. It's too bad. Monique is here. She's saying, Josh Primo, you are done. Shaking my head. Isn't that just pathetic and sad? I feel sad for the kid. I don't know where he comes from this. Is there a redemption tour for him? Can he get counseling and rehabilitation? Will they be able to trust him? Can he change and maybe become a NBA player still in the next couple years? I don't know. Maybe what Monique is saying is very true, that he is just done and that he shouldn't have been flashing people and stuff like that. That was crazy. Yeah. Exposer. Yeah. Seymour Pape. Primo is an exposer, a flasher. Yeah. It's very, very bad. Very, very bad. And, today's culture is not tolerated. It may be something back in the day with the dude in the trench coat, woo, on the side of the street. They still got in trouble too back then. But yeah, streaking is not cool, and flashing people is definitely not cool and stuff like that. So, yeah, Duke Rocks is saying Duke thought the world was flat. He still thinks the world is flat, Duke. That's the thing. Kyrie's an idiot. He is a flat earther. He still thinks the world is flat. Nothing's changed. He's trying to say, "Oh, I didn't think that or anything," but he did probably still think that. And he is a QAnon dude. He is believing all the stupid shit QAnon's saying. Like he believes in QAnon shit and stuff like that. Like, don't even get him started on Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I'll bet you Kyrie has some really fucked up beliefs and crazy shit and stuff like that. So, all right, let's keep going. Logical saying OG and Matherson guy forwards with Jaden Smith at center and Halbert on what? Once again, Mike, are you talking about a deal with the Pacers and what their lineup would look like? Is that what you're trying to say? M. Jones is saying, good morning, family. Good morning, M. Jones. Good to see Raptor Freak M. Jones. We're going to play some trivia. I hope you're ready to play. Duke Rocks is saying Oklahoma City is looking good as well. I really like their team. Yeah, they're winning some games too. And that's interesting without Holmgren and a couple different people. Josh Giddey is hurt a little bit right now. We know that. M. Jones is saying Raps ready to streak in the league now. Yeah, that's the kind of streaking we like. Streaking as teams. Win streaking, not streaking where your penis is hanging out. Yeah, that is a good kind of streak. And I want to do this so bad. We'll start tomorrow night, Atlanta Hawks, Halloween night. And I'm going to the game. I'll be getting loud down there myself. And hopefully we can go running into November on a good win streak, like M. Jones is saying. Mike's saying, Seymour, I gave the T. Hoodman report with way too much context. Yeah, Mike, that's fine. That's fine. Seymour saying Jazz be pulling out one-pointers. Jazz are actually playing really well too. It's like all the teams we kind of said were predicted to be bad. Maybe this was kind of like a playing possum kind of move. You're supposed to be bad because you're tanking for Victor. Well, we're not. Utah, Indiana, San Antonio. We're actually winning games. Crazy. Lion Hunter's here. Good to see you, Lion Hunter. It's been a little bit. Hey, dude, been frequenting the streams, but commenting for the first time in a while. So many fans on the ledge after one bad loss. 3-3 after a very hard schedule is pretty good. I completely agree with you. I don't know. People are so reactive and in the moment. They only go by what happened in the last game. We could be like 1-10 and then we win a game and they're like, yay, we won. I don't know. People need to either get a life or just stop overreacting to things and saying like this is this and this and this, inferring so much from just one game. Every single NBA game is different. And there is an average to it and something that like seems like a normal game. Well, that game on Friday may not be totally that normal because we let one player beat us. Have you ever seen a game where we let one player beat us like that recently? No, we have not. And that's a testament to Tyrese Maxey and how good he is, and the fact that we had just not a good night in some ways ourselves. But yeah, no chicken littling on this channel. We are fine. We're in better shape than we were last year, and we are going to kick so much ass this year. Yeah. All right, let's see. Seymour saying, "Hope Lex is okay." I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm pretty good. Like this weekend's been going pretty good. I've been really enjoying my time with Adriana. We've been spending a lot of time together and just having laughs and watching movies and having fun, stuff like that. M. Jones is saying, "Oh, I didn't mean that streak. Horrible timing." No, Mike was doing puns earlier, so I guess it's infectious. I felt like doing a little bit of puns too, I guess. Monique is saying, last night was Raptors Halloween party. Yeah, I want to see more footage, but there isn't any. Like, there's nothing out, and maybe all on open gym. We'll have to see. Yeah, win streak's the right kind of streaking. We like. Seymour saying, hey, Mo, do you think Lex was there at the party? I was not at the party last night. I don't go to parties anymore. I have to say, like with my alcoholism, the Halloween is the worst part of the year for me as far as like I'm tempted to drink. because that was when I had the most fun. Halloween weekend and all the Halloween parties are dangerous for me. So I very much stay home and I do not celebrate Halloween in any kind of way because it is dangerous for me. That is when I wanted to drink the most. That is when I would drink the most. I would do this was like my Super Bowl weekend. Let's just put it that way. And I would go out. And actually, the last time I was drunk was Bender from Halloween. Well, the day I got arrested was like November 12th. So I was on a 2-week bender of being drunk from Halloween when I finally did get arrested and for the last time ever was drank. So this is a very dangerous time of the year for me. I can't go out and celebrate like other people because I am at risk to pick up again. And after 12 years, I don't want to do it. And so I just keep it completely safe. And haven't gone to Halloween parties really in the last 10 years just because of this. This is the most dangerous time of year for me. And I don't want to pick up. So I don't do it. G saying a lot of the bad teams have not been scouted for either. Teams know how to plan for teams like the Sixers, the Raptors, the Heat, etc. And this is why early standings doesn't mean much. Exactly. G's exactly right. That's kind of the playing possum thing I was alluding to. It's like, okay, well, Indiana's just supposed to be garbage. Well, why do we even worry about them or prepare for them? Well, whoops, Ben Mathurian's actually really good, and Buddy Hield's hitting threes, and they're actually playing pretty good. I'm like, maybe we should have prepared for them a little bit better. I think that's kind of what's happening right now. Is teams like Popovich and the Spurs are catching people off guard and catching them by surprise, and they're doing good team concept things. And some of these teams are having problems. And that's part of the problem also. So I agree with this, G. Lolita has retracted her statement, but I'll say good morning to Raptor Freak Lolita. Logical saying, yeah, sorry, autocorrect butchered it. Halliburton, Duarte. Okay, yeah, you were talking about the Pacers. Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, I guess Adam Silver doesn't want anybody to tank. He's wanting people to try hard, and he's getting the good results because, like, people aren't tanking. It seems like they're actually every team's trying to win right now, and that's good. Relegation is not realistic as far as like relegating a team back and forth in and out. Now they could do it but it wouldn't really work cleanly. Actually, I don't think it would work in any kind of way. But they do have good penalties. Maybe they'll figure out some more penalties just in case they can detect teams are actually tanking for sure. Let's see. Duke saying Maxey made some incredible shots that were really tough. Dude was in a zone. Shouldn't reflect bad of Rabs. My only issue was Fred VanVleet couldn't keep up with him to start the game. That's our nurse opinion, in my opinion. That's on Nurse, in my opinion. I'm saying, listen, Freddie maybe should have engaged. He asked him a couple times. He said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He just had an off game. This may be like the very much the inverse of Tyrese Maxey having an absolutely career game. Well, Fred had his worst game of his career possibly on Friday night. Freddie did his signing yesterday at Foot Locker at Young and Dundas Square, and it looked like he was in good spirits and he was happy and smiling and stuff like that. So that's good. And I was worried about him doing that signing yesterday after having such a bad game on Friday. I hope nobody went up to him and talked any trash to his face at a public meet and greet because of his performance on Friday night. We know there's a lot of stupid shit being said online, on Twitter by different people about Fred right now, and we just need to block it out and just attack it ourselves and say you don't understand what this man has done for us already and stuff like that. He's allowed to have one bad game from time to time and just allow him to do that and stuff like that. So yeah, good. Thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just I got to remind myself sometimes because this is the time when the holiday season is tough, but Halloween in particular is a tough one for me. Christmas isn't as bad because I wasn't really like much of a Christmas drinker, but Halloween is really, really bad. And so that's why I'm going to go to the game tomorrow and enjoy my Halloween that way with something positive, the Raptors game and stuff like that and things like that. So, all right, let's keep going. Lolita's saying it's a long season. All teams will have a losing game now and then. The Raptors will be the last team standing. I'm ready for the parade. Go Raptors. I love this pre-visualizing of the parade by Lolita, and I agree. Hopefully, we will be the last team standing this season, and it'll be 2023 NBA champions Toronto Raptors. I'll put it into existence today. Monique saying, congratulations on the milestone. Demar, happy for you. Yeah, Demar DeRozan got his 20,000th point in an NBA game the other day against the Spurs, and classy Coach Popovich called a timeout on his side of the Spurs to allow DeMar to have his moment. And I think that just epitomizes who Coach Pop is and how much DeMar DeRozan meant to him playing for him those few years in San Antonio. So yeah, congratulations, DeMar DeRozan, a great Raptor, all-time great Raptor. And we'll always love you and celebrate your accomplishments here in Toronto, DeMar. We love you and good job. Logical say, not gonna lie, Indy fans are different. They pride themselves on respect and the fundamentals and the history of the states. Basketball looms large. That is true. Indiana fan nation is very learned, very educated, very humble, very like just smart, and they're not like other fan nations. They are very different than Miami fan nation. They're very different than Boston nation, Philly nation. They have more respect, and you don't get that kind of edge from them coming at people. No, there isn't like that. Now, there is one thing that I will say negatively about Indiana's fan nation. They can be a little racist like Boston's fan nation. And we found that a couple years ago when we were playing them, and we sent a bunch of our fans down there that were people of Pacific or from Asia. Asian fans came down there, and some of the Indiana fans were very xenophobic about it. And we're saying, like, why are our Toronto fans coming down here? They look like terrorists. And there was a lot of that kind of talk going on in their fan nation about our fans. Now, about basketball stuff, maybe they're fair, but they can be a little racist in Indiana still, just so you know. Shane's saying, yes, Mo, class act move by Pop calling the timeout and congratulating. Yes, Shane Waters. That is why he's one of my coaches. And that's why I love Coach Popovich. And, we need to give Coach Popovich more respect, because somebody said this the other day, and it really rang true with me. He has been in the league coaching for how many years now, and he is still on the cutting edge of the league. Like, in fact, he has a team that's supposed to be tanking right now, and he's actually getting wins out of it and stuff like that. Most coaches, the game passes them by. It changes, and they don't change fast enough with it. So it's amazing the how long Coach Popovich has been coaching in this league and how the streak, because the game has changed and evolved so much in just the period of time while he's been coaching, and that he's kept up with it. That he has not became like a dinosaur that's pushed past and like gone by him or something like that. He's still a relevant coach in this league after 30 years now. So that's amazing to me. Coach Popovich is really amazing coach that he's still in this league and he's still coaching at this point with all the changes that has happened in the game over time. All right, let's see. I agree, Lolita. I'm ready to yell Raptor Freak from top of the semi truck on Young and Dundas. Let's go. Yeah. Go down to Young and Dundas Square. You yell Raptor Freak a bit or something like that. My friend Stevie Roots wants to make stickers and put them up around the city. I don't know about all that. I want to just, we'll figure it out. I was telling people in line the other day, and people will find us. Cowboys saying Raptors are going to be a nightmare on Halloween. Let's go. Yeah, we want to beat Atlanta. First time we'll see him this year. New look with DeJounte Murray. We'll do a full preview tomorrow with the ref report and everything. Monique saying so much fans are heavy on Kyle, it won't end. Yeah, Miami fans don't like Kyle, and that's fine. It is what it is. Kyle doesn't care. He got paid. In some ways, we were joking about it. He got paid and he retired down to Miami. And, well, he's still playing technically, but in some ways, maybe he's retired. I don't know. It's not my problem. That's the Miami Heat's problem. And, hey, whatever. We love him here in Toronto. We always will. Hopefully he can figure it out. But you know what? Also, Kyle doesn't give a shit what those people think. He really doesn't. Trust me. He really doesn't. Mike's saying traditional thinking. Yeah, that comes with history mindsets. Yeah, traditional thinking. It's interesting because Pop has been very flexible over his coaching career and has changed and done different things and stuff like that. Although he's really has a certain way he does things and keeps things going and stuff like that. All right, who's messaging me on Facebook? I do not want you messaging me right now. I am busy. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. All right, I'm gonna get into the trivia very soon, guys. So I'm not gonna. All right, gonna be a sad day when Pop hangs it up. I don't know. It'll be a celebration too. Like really, honestly, that's gonna be amazing career. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew from Cool Cat. Good morning, Cool Cat. Good to see you this Sunday morning. I'm going to the game on Monday. We got to win after that mental lapse. Yes, I agree with you on that one, and I will be there too also tomorrow night. Guardian saying, I do not understand when Embiid was out that we did not have a solid game plan for Maxey. We pretty much all knew he was going to go off. Yeah, I saw your comment yesterday on the stream yesterday, Guardian. And I think you're right. Why didn't we key on him more and why didn't we get to him? I think that in some ways, Maxey was just playing on a whole other level. And in some ways, we may not have been able to do anything about it. That sometimes dudes are just in the zone. And like he was hitting crazy stuff. Like when we were close to him, and it's not like we were not playing him very well. We are playing him very hard, but he was still making everything. It's crazy. And sometimes players are just on that level where you can do everything perfect, and they're just so overpoweringly good. And I think that's part of what happened that night and stuff like that. But we could have played with a better effort for sure. And maybe we could have had a better plan for trying to contain him because it did seem like he was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted on the court. And that was no good. We didn't like that. That's for sure. Let's see. Mike saying, no worries. We got the new Nick Nurse, hence my deep dive. Yeah, okay. You're talking about with Popovich and stuff like that. Once again, context of what you're saying. G saying they should have pounded the paint. Tucker was the center. Regardless, they will watch tape and learn. Yeah, they're going to figure it all out tomorrow and get it all figured. I mean, they figured it out yesterday in tape and stuff like that. I need Raptor Free clothing. We were going to do the hoodies, and we may still do that at some point. Just give it some time. I'm not really good at connecting and getting things done in some ways. Let's see. A lot of former players of Spurs have positive things to say about Pop, which is a testament to his greatness. For sure, Lolita. For sure. Let's see. I may need a logo, Bradley. We can talk about this. I wish that you were on some other social media so that I could talk to you outside of this. Like maybe you need to email me your phone number or something so we can actually talk or something like that. Okay, Blue City's here. Here's a Philly fan. What's good, my Toronto Raptor friends, rivals? It was a good game. You guys almost beat my Sixers, but it was still a good game. Well, we split the games. It was 1-1. And, the first game was fun for us, obviously, and was very interesting. And the second game, it was the Maxey show. And we just have to be respectful and understand Tyrese Maxey's a great player, and he is what it is and stuff like that. But, yeah, thanks for being humble and coming in here. And, we split a game. It's going to be really hard for teams to win both games in these two-game series. Obviously, we're seeing that. So we're going to have to see how more of these go for your team and our team, stuff like that, these 2-game series and stuff like that. But you know what? You guys can feel good because you got out of the mud against us, and then you went and won another one last night. So this is good for Sixers Nation. Y'all are starting to right things with your season because it's been a rocky start for y'all. And now finally you've got a couple wins. And this is good for y'all. And I'm not necessarily happy about it myself, but I expected y'all to be very good this year. And it was weird how you guys struggled right out the gate to me. Cool Cat saying, I think our young guys took the game for granted. Only the young vets played hard. I think Fred is injured a bit. Yeah, I don't know what is up with Fred. It's really weird. Philly did win last night. Yeah, they beat the Bulls last night in Chicago. So it wasn't even and that's a back-to-back travel from Toronto to Chicago. And they beat them. That's a good job. All right, let's do this trivia, guys. The trivia today is actually going to be about the first 6 games of the season, stuff like that. Blue City saying they said Embiid was injured. That's why he could not play against the Raptors, but somehow he could play against the Bulls. Well, it could have been they did a rest day for him because they didn't want him to play both games of the back-to-back, and he decided he wanted to take the Raptors game off, maybe because he didn't like playing the Raptors as much. And that's really what it is. I think it's because you guys had a back-to-back, and he wasn't going to play both of the games in a row just for load management purposes. So he said, all right, well, I'm going to take the Raptor game off, and I'll play in Chicago. That's really probably what it was. And they do that with our guys too. Fred, if there's a back-to-back and it's a weird time, maybe Fred sits one of the games and stuff like that. Came down the wire and Philly pulled it out. Yeah, it was close. They only won by 2 points, something like that. Yeah, G, are you back for trivia? No, G, he's going. He says he's leaving. The trivia's right here, but no. Gee. All right, let's do this. All right, this is basically we're doing trivia for the first 6 games of the season. This is not classic Jurassic trivia like you guys are used to right now. This is different trivia. Let's see. It's new. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm focusing on trivia. All right. No more comments right now. Okay. First question, guys. Who leads the Raptors in minutes total so far in the first 6 games of the season? Who has the most minutes played total by all the Raptors in the first 6 games of the season so far? Siakam is wrong, Tom. Fred is right, so Shanky gets it. Good job, I am Shanky. I knew you were here. Of course, Shanky is here. I don't think David's here. So, Shanky, I think you can make up some ground today. So, Fred VanVleet is right. Shane Waters, you got it second. Yeah, Fred is the right answer, and he's only got one more minute more than Pascal, so it's not that much different. I think it's like one more minute more. Okay, next question, guys. Who has the best field goal percentage? They have to have at least 10 field goal attempts. Who has the best field goal percentage? They have to have at least 10 field goal attempts. They can't just be like, well, Justin has 100% field goal percentage right now because he has one shot made it. OG is not right. Scotty is not right. OG is not right. Tom Duke. O/G. Shane Waters has got it. It is Chris Boucher once again. You guys do not ever doubt Mr. Boucher. He is shooting 60% from the field, and he is our leading field goal percentage guy right now. Chris Boucher. Good job, Shane, getting that question. So we're going to see who's been paying attention. Just real quick, M. Jones is saying, legit question. How do we feel about our rotations? I really feel we can do more in that area as well. I just want him to keep mixing and matching the bench with the starters and stop playing the starters for like 10 minutes straight all by themselves. I want him to bring in the new flow of guys over and over again, stuff like that. All right, let's keep going. Who has the most three-point field goals made for the Raptors so far this season? Who has the most three-pointers made for the Raptors so far in 6 games? Who is it? Shanky's got it. It is Gary Trent Jr. That is exactly right. It is Gary Trent. Good job. Shanky is on it. I'm rooting for you, Shanky. Since you're the closest to getting to David, I'd like you to make some ground on him this morning and make this competitive by the end of the season, Shanky. So I am rooting for you. No lie. No lie, I am. So Logical's right in there after, and looks like, no, Pascal's not right, Tom. Sorry. All right, next. Who has the best three-point field goal percentage? At least 5 3-point attempts. Who is shooting the three-pointers the best for us so far? Who is shooting the three-pointers the best for us so far? Best three-point percentage. Pascal's wrong. Pascal's wrong. Barnes is wrong. Boucher is right. Mike is on the board. Like Logical Raptors fanatic has scored some points in our league. Finally, you are on the board, Mike. With Chris Boucher is the answer once again. He's our best shooter all around. He's our best three-point shooter. He's our best field goal shooter. Chris is actually shooting 62.5% from three-point range right now. That's absolutely fantastic. And this is mirroring our last time we did this kind of trivia, which was for the playoff series against Philadelphia. Chris was our best shooter there also. Best three-point shooter was Cam. It was really, really weird. Shane, you see yourself first? No, on mine, you're actually after. And I know you're West Coast lag. Mike is ahead of you on my screen, unfortunately. He says Boucher, and you say Chris Boucher right after. And then it's Cool Cat Pascal. So unfortunately, it may look like you guys are ahead, but I can only go by what it says on my screen. So I'm sorry, Shane. Yeah, let's see. Logical saying he's more locked in. He's ready. Okay. Embiid is the Chicago Bulls daddy. All right, you go ahead and be feeling good about your Embiid right now, Blue City. It's fine. All right, next question. Who are the top 3 free throw shooters on the Raptors so far? They have to had shot 5 free throw attempts, but who are the best 3 free throw shooters right now for this? All right, listen, I don't want any dispute. I'll go back and look at it, and we'll clean it up afterwards. Cool Cat saying OG. OG is on there, so Cool Cat, you get that one. Fred VanVleet is on there also, Mike. So you're getting Fred. Siakam is not on the list. He's shooting horrible, Tom, so far. Gary is not on the list, guys. Pascal and Gary is not right. Shane Waters is saying OG. Yeah, that's not right either. Boucher, that's not right. You guys aren't getting the third one. Nobody's gotten the third person that's shooting the best free throws for us. Fred's not right. Fred is right, but he's already guessed. Cool Cat got it. It's Scotty. Scotty is the second best free throw shooter for us. Fred's the best at 86%. Fred shooting. Scotty Barnes is shooting 80%, and OG shooting 78%. So it's Fred, Scotty, and OG are our three best shooters so far. So Cool Cat's getting two of them, and Logical's getting one of them. And Monique, I'm gonna give you a point for that one also for getting in there and getting Fred. So Monique's getting a points also. So there we go. Let me just circle them up so I can see them easier. All right, next question. Question number 6. Who has the most offensive rebounds total for the Raptors this season? Who has the most offensive rebounds total, not average, total, most total rebounds offensively for the Raptors so far this season? Who is it? Who do you think? Pascal's wrong. Precious is right. Shanky got it. Precious has 13 offensive rebounds so far this season, and Shanky has got it first. Good job, Shanky. Precious, yep. Logical saying Precious. Duke, it's not Scott. It is Precious. Pressure. Pressure from Guardian Transit. Yep. All right, Shanky, good. Quick on the draw. Next question. Who has the most defensive rebounds total for the team so far? Who has the most defensive rebounds total for the team so far? Who would that be? Spicy P is right. Shane Waters, you'll get that one for sure. You're definitely in there first on that one. It's Pascal. You're ahead of Shanky just barely, and Cool Cat also. So Shane, you get that one. Good job. Quick on it. You have a sister named Precious? I think Precious is a cool name because it's kind of like when you have a big guy around you and you call him Tiny. This is Tiny, and he's 7'7". You know, it's like to me that's the same kind of name for Precious on our team. Precious, this is Precious. Yeah, he's real precious, real precious. All right, whoever's messaging me, just stop, please. All right, next. Who's tied for total assists so far? There's two guys that have the same amount of assists. Who has the most assists on the team? There's two guys tied at the top. Let's see who it is. Pascal is one of them. You're going to get that one, Cool Cat, and Fred VanVleet is the other one. So Cool Cat and Mike are getting those two. Cool Cat and Logical. All right. All right, next question. Who has the most total steals so far for the team? Who has the most steals for the team? Who has the most steals on this team so far? Total steals. Fred VanVleet is right. Logical, get that one. He has 15 steals so far this season. He should have a few more. They were counted as blocks. All right, next question. Who has the most blocks after 6 games for the Raptors? Who has the most blocks when after the 6 games? I'll answer your questions afterwards, Blue City. We're playing trivia right now. We are designated trivia space. OG is right. Shanky got it. It is OG. OG has the most blocks on the Raptors right now. There's part of the reason why I made this picture is that OG Anunoby is the leader in blocks for the Raptors right now. So good job, Shanky. Good job. Okay. Next question. Who has the most fouls so far on the team? Who has the most fouls? Who fouled the most so far on our team this year? Who has the most fouls? Birch? No, Birch is wrong. Coloco's wrong. Fred VanVleet is wrong. Let's see who gets it. Coloco's wrong. Coloco's wrong. Coloco is not in the answer. Pascal is wrong. Siakam is wrong. Kem is wrong. Pascal's wrong, guys. It's not Pascal. Pascal doesn't have the most fouls. And it's not Coloco or Fred. It's not Scotty. It's not Scotty, Shane. It's not Boucher. It's OG. Raymond Jacobs getting it. It's OG Anunoby. He has 22 fouls so far this season. Raymond Jacob getting on the board today. It is OG Anunoby. He has the most fouls called on him. OG. Makes sense. All right. Next question has 3 answers, so get in there quick. What 3 players lead the team in dunks? There's 3 players that all have the same amount of dunks, which is 5. There's a couple players that have 5 dunks so far this season. Who are the 3 players that have 5 dunks so far? Precious for Shanky. That's right. Precious is right, guys. He got it first. Tom, I'm going to give you OG, Tom, because you got OG. Tom Duke getting OG. All right, hang on. Y'all are going too fast. I gotta see who's at the beginning. Precious for who did I say got that one? Shanky got Precious first, And then Tom got OG, and Duke's going to get Scotty. Duke rocks. You got Scotty. Good job. Good to see Duke rocks getting some points today. Scotty Barnes is definitely one of the 3 guys that have 5 dunks so far this season. It's Scotty, OG, and Precious leading the league in that. All right, next question, guys. Which Raptor has the furthest average shot distance? Like all the shots this is the furthest distance. Who has the furthest distance for average shot distance so far this season? Fred VanVleet's a good answer. It's wrong. It's wrong. Fred's wrong, everybody. You guys are all putting Fred, and Fred is wrong. Malachi is right. That's right, Raymond Jacob. Malachi Flynn is averaging 28 feet per shot right now. He's only shot threes. He hasn't shot anything within the arc. So he is actually averaging the furthest shot for the season so far. Malachi Flynn is the answer. Yeah, good job, Raymond. I was wondering if somebody was going to get that one too easy or not, and it's interesting. All right. So in the inverse, which Raptor has the closest average shot distance? And this is a silly question. He hasn't shot a whole bunch, but I don't care about that. I'm just going by who has the most average. There's no minimum on this. Coloco's wrong. Pascal's wrong. Scotty's wrong. Who has the closest average distance? Coloco's wrong. Banton's wrong. Precious is wrong. It's going to be, you guys are going to be mad at me after this. Coloco's wrong. I'm going to let you guys keep guessing. Birch is wrong. Keep going. Keep going. OG's wrong. Kem is wrong. Kem Birch is wrong. Kem is wrong. Thad is wrong. Yeah, maybe we'll just guess all of them. Boucher's wrong. Scotty's wrong. Who has the closest? Champagne is right. Shanky is right. That's one shot that he made, that lay-in that he made in the last game. That's the only shot he's taken, and that was absolutely the closest shot. So, Shanky, you're getting it. It's Justin Champagne is the answer to that question. So, Champagne was the right answer. Good job, Shanky. Shanky, a very strong effort today. I think you're going to gain some ground on Peter's insurmountable lead. He really does have a crazy lead right now. All right, next question. What 2 categories is Pascal second in the NBA as of yesterday? He is second in the whole entire NBA in 2 categories right now. Pascal Siakam. What are the 2 stat categories that Pascal is second in the whole entire NBA right now? At least as of yesterday. It may have changed because of games last night. Scoring? No, scoring isn't the category. Assists and rebounds? No. Field goals? Yeah. Okay, but elaborate, Shanky. I want field goals what? Field goals made? We'll just give it to you. You mean field goals made? Yes. He's second in the league in field goals made. So we'll give you that one. And the other one's a little bit he's tied with a bunch of people. Triple-double. That's right. Guardian, you're getting that. Triple-double is the other category. Good job. I'm so glad to see so many different names scoring today. It seems like everybody's getting points here and there. So, Guardian, you're on the board. It's triple-doubles and field goals made. Those are the 2 categories that Pascal's second in the entire league in right now. And being a complete stud, of course, Tom. That's, of course, true, too. All right, what category is Fred leading the league in before last night's game? He was leading the league in a category yesterday. What was it? What was the category that Fred VanVleet was? Steals. Raymond Jacobs getting it right away. Yeah, Fred's leading the league in steals as of yesterday. I don't know if that changed because of games last night, but when I put this trivia together yesterday afternoon, he was the leader in steals in the whole entire NBA right now. So good job, Raymond Jacob, getting in there the fastest. All right, 2 more questions, guys, and then trivia's up for today. Missing field goals. Be nice. What category is Gary fourth in the league as of yesterday? What is Gary fourth in the league overall from yesterday? What category was he fourth in the league? Let's see, 3-pointers made. That's right. Cool Cat's getting it. It is 3-pointers. Good job, Cool Cat. That was pretty easy, actually. We're just doing a little stat check, 6-game check, seeing where we're at with who's doing what on what team on the team and stuff like that. It is 3-pointers. Yeah, 3-pointers was the right answer. Okay, last question, guys. Which Toronto Raptor is second in the league for defensive rebounding percentage? Which Raptor is second in the league for defensive rebounding percentage overall? Scotty Barnes is wrong. Pascal is wrong. OG is wrong. Pascal is wrong. Precious is right. Raymond Jacobs getting the last one. It is Precious Achiuwa. He is second in the league in defensive rebounding percentage. All right, good job. So that's all the questions for trivia today, and I love seeing so many different names. I'll put the scores together and I'll add them up and I'll post them in the comments after this in just a little while. So stay tuned and check back on this post to see where you are in the standings at this point. All right, let me see if there's any like comments and stuff I'll read in the middle of the trivia. I know that Blue City was asking me some things, and then we'll finish things up. Yeah, it's trivia. We get into trivia. That's what the mode we're in here, saying stuff like that. Okay, we're back up at the top. Mike is saying it's the new Raptors flu. Boston sat their whole line last year, so we couldn't show the league how to beat Boston's defense. Yeah, they sit certain players against the Raptors. We saw it, started seeing it last year. Giannis was a notable person that kept missing the Raptor games for some reason, and this does seem to happen from sometimes. Bradley, are you dressing as Freddy Krueger on Halloween? That's cool. Freddy Krueger is a pretty cool costume. M. Jones is saying Raptors freak. Oh yeah, that's the rotations question. I would like him to just mix and match more often, replenish the energy on the court more often, and not have these long periods where they play the same five guys for like 10 minutes straight. I hate that so much. I feel like he should be subbing people in every 3 minutes, is basically how I would like him to do it. Always have some starters on the court, but mix and match some of those bench guys, especially some of these really cool ones like Delano and Coloco. And, people like that and Otto, they're going to need to play some and help us too and stuff like that. So that's how I look at it. Yeah, Fred is a good guess on a lot of questions for sure. Embiid, yeah, okay. Talking about Embiid. Okay, what does he say here? The Kawhi Leonard bounce against my Sixers is the playoffs will always give me nightmares. Oh, the bounce. Yeah, the bounce shot by Kawhi. Yeah, that's a great moment for us. We love that moment, but I know it was really tragic and heartbreaking for a lot of Philadelphia fans. There's been those weird clips of like that family watching it, that Philadelphia family, and the little kids are all crying and the dad's like breaking shit. It's like crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, typing, you have to be quick to type, and some of it is also being close to where I am. I think you have an advantage if you're in Toronto near me, because people that have played from other countries and the other side of Canada, it seems that sometimes they don't have an advantage for sure. All right, yeah, we read that one. Okay, Blue City saying there is a TV show, but I think it's called, it could be a movie. It's called Big John, Little John. Tiny. Okay, what was your reaction when your team won their first NBA Finals? It was amazing. I was so happy. I really felt good about how we were going to win that night, and that we were really on our way to winning a championship a couple days before it happened. That we were in the driver's seat of that series with Golden State. So it was it wasn't like a shock or surprise. It was something like, I know we're going to win this, and we need to just finish it out. So when it did finally happen, I didn't go out and get in the street like everybody else did. I thought about doing that, but instead I just stayed home because I didn't want to get in the middle of everything crazy in the middle of the night and stuff like that. I did celebrate at the parade, and I did celebrate all summer the win, the championship here in Toronto, the first one. But yeah, it was a crazy night, and I was very happy to watch it with friends of mine. And it is a great memory of when we won, and I have that memory etched in my head for sure, of what was going on that night and different things like that. It was a good time and stuff like that. It's all good. You didn't know we're doing trivia today and stuff like that. All right. Yeah. I think we're pretty much through all the comments that were around the trivia or inside the trivia at least. How many he shot though? Trick question. Okay. I don't know what that's in reference to at this point. Yeah, I like those jokes. Yeah, okay, I think we're through all that. All right, let's just see what's going on here. Talk on the pillar, Lex. Sorry, bad joke. I don't know what that means. All right, teams use long game strategy. They gotta figure out like the whole season and getting their team together and figuring things out. Cool Cat saying, I think Nurse was giving the starters game shape connectivity in the early games. Yeah, I think he really screwed up the Brooklyn game in particular. Like, we shouldn't have lost to Brooklyn. And if he had actually capitalized on our depth over them, we would have easily beaten them. But he decided he wanted to play the starters the whole entire third quarter, and that ruined our chance of winning that Brooklyn game. that I really solely put the responsibility on Nick Nurse not subbing his starters in the third quarter soon enough on why we lost to Brooklyn and Kevin Durant and Kyrie and stuff like that. And I mean, I understand that kind of logic about getting as much time with them together and like building, like Greg says on his channel, a callus, a buildup of like working hard and stuff like that. But also, that is how you get guys injured and stuff like that, overworking them in some ways. So I don't totally agree with that strategy. I think that if you have guys like Fred that have played a lot of time on the court, you don't have to overwork them over the season. You can really baby them at certain times and protect them from having injuries and problems and stuff like that. So, yeah. Let's see. Nick Nurse motto: expect to win. Yes, we expect to win. Hopefully, we'll win tomorrow. I know you'll be at the game tomorrow, also, Monique. That'll be fun. M. Jones is saying Nurse also needs to do it more for proper development as well. Yes, we need Delano and Coloco to get the time out there themselves and stuff like that. And it's good that they play with the high caliber guys like Scotty and Gary and OG and Pascal and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with that. Don't worry, when the schedule gets easier, you will see more development minutes. Yeah, maybe hit the ground running, really use the starters and try them out like you guys were just saying. And then now we'll ease more of the bench in as time goes on and stuff like that. Who knows? Leslie saying, I remember the plant guy and Mark Gasol. That's what Leslie remembers about the championship time and the parade. Yeah, there was a guy with a plant on our the streets, walking around with a plant. I didn't totally understand that, but I thought he was cool. He was on the news. He was a true Raptor fan, so I could get behind Plant Guy. And then Marc Gasol being absolutely shit faced at the parade was, yeah, that was something that everybody remembers too. He's hanging off the edge of the back of the bus and just like going woo, going crazy. Blue City saying this is going to be a funny joke. What do you do when the doctor is not available? Call up the nurse. Get it? Yeah. Listen, my joke has always been we know in hospitals, nurses do all the work and doctors kind of just stand by and get the credit. That's what I'll say. Nurses are the hard workers, the ones, the unsung heroes of the hospital, and the doctors just kind of come in, say something, and leave. There's my joke about that. Cool Cat saying, I watched the championship game at Jurassic Park, celebrated there, and walked for ages to get a subway to get to my car and go home. That's a real one right there. Cool Cat had a real championship experience watching the championship game at Jurassic Park. That's fantastic. You should, yeah, take your time to get to your car. You should have stayed down there and just hung out with your people on the street and just getting loud and celebrating that night. That is awesome. I love hearing that. And those are memories that will never, ever go away. Blue City saying the Sixers won that trade with Ben Baby Simmons and James Harden. I want to say, yeah, I agree with this. Ben Simmons really does look like he's having a hard time physically getting anything going right the way he used to and stuff like that. Some people are worried about him being hurt to the point with his back that he's not going to be able to get to the level that he was before he took 2 years off of his career and stuff like that. I will agree with this. I think that y'all did win this deal also because James has been showing up and actually been playing at a pretty high level recently. Way back, he's playing better now than he ever played for the Brooklyn Nets in a lot of ways. So yeah, I agree with this. I think y'all won that deal for sure. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, let Blue City come in here and talk some shit a little bit here. Seymour Pape is funny. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Cool Cat saying that Sixers game was over after the first quarter. Only the young vets understand winning. On our team and stuff like that, I don't know. You mean our guys Fred and Pascal and stuff? I don't know. Let's see. Cool Cat saying we could complain with Nurse, but he has to answer to front office about his wins and metrics. His job is different from our development wishes. Our young guys use practice for development. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that we have a great strength and depth, and that it's smart. It's smart basketball to use your depth over teams that don't have as deep talent and stuff like that. That is my biggest gripe, really, with it. Monique saying I was a part of Fred VanVleet Foot Locker live stream yesterday. Oh, cool. You were online watching it and stuff like that. Cool. I didn't know that they had that live streaming. I know some of the people I met at the Scotty Barnes pop-up Subway event were at the Fred VanVleet thing yesterday taking pictures. Jose in particular was there, and he got really nice pictures of him with Fred. It looks like Fred was in a good mood, and he was signing things, and he has no problem signing pictures or signing things or taking pictures with fans. And that whole narrative that some people are pushing in recent years that Fred is jerk about that kind of stuff is wrong. This dude is willing to do this shit, and y'all just were coming at him at the wrong time, probably. But Nick is a doctor and a nurse. That's the weird thing is, like, in some ways, Nick Nurse is actually more of a doctor than Doc Rivers is. That's the thing. He's actually a doctor. He has a doctorate, and I don't know if Doc Rivers actually has a doctorate. So there's a big difference right there. Blue City saying, I might be too young to remember this. What was it like when the Raptors lost the Sixers in the playoffs to Iverson? Oh, I hated it. I was there. I was old enough to remember it because I was working at the Air Canada Center at the time. I was working at the building, and I was in the arena at a lot of those games with Iverson and Vince, the ones here in Toronto. Yeah, it was a disappointment. We were all pretty mad at Vince because he went to graduation, and we felt like that may have affected him in his game that day and stuff like that. We were very close, and y'all went to the finals and played the Lakers that year and lost. Well, that could have easily been us, possibly. So there's a woulda, coulda, shoulda there for sure that we've kind of thought about at times, but it's just a part of our history, and it was a very important series in the history of the Raptors history for sure. We talked a lot about it when we played y'all this year on this channel. We did the watch alongs and we watched the games and stuff from that series. Dr. Nurse, that's right. Tom Duke is saying that fella definitely stole that plant, and I have to believe that I have to believe that Fred VanVleet's shots will go in when he's missing, and that Dr. Nurse's rotations will make sense soon enough. I think they have been making sense since. It really was that Brooklyn game I had the biggest problem with Nick, and I blame him for that one. I don't blame him for the Miami game the next night, and I feel like the rotations have been great since that Brooklyn game. So in Philadelphia, I was fine with the rotations. With Miami, I was fine with the rotations. It really was just that Brooklyn game. I feel like he screwed that game up and stuff like that. So, but since he really has been mixing and matching the starters with the bench much better. And you see it in the cool combinations that we see on the court from time to time, stuff like that. Watanabe is on the Nets. Yeah, it's sad. And then you see Svi in his New York Knicks jersey and playing for the Knicks and stuff like that. It's interesting stuff this season. M. Jones is saying, as a young franchise, we can really walk with that big pride in knowing we have a championship where older franchises still have yet to obtain a championship. So proud. It is true. There's a lot of teams that have been in this league for a long, long, long time and have never, ever won a championship. You know, the Clippers have never won a championship. The Brooklyn Nets have never won a championship. You know, there's a lot of teams we can say have never won a championship. And you know, that's something. I like that we have that over a lot of these teams. Now, there's other young teams that have done even better than us. Like Miami is a young team to a degree also, and they have like 3 championships and stuff like that. So it's all relative and stuff. Orlando's never won. They had a chance, but they didn't make it the one year they made the finals and stuff like that. So there's Charlotte has not won a championship. The Grizzlies have not won a championship. It's really, you got to look at the teams that have come after us. Because that's who we should gauge against. But like some of these older teams and stuff like that, sure, they're gonna have tons of championships, but there are a lot of teams that have never won. Phoenix Suns have never won a championship, and they've been in the league forever. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Also, M. Jones is saying, as a young, oh yeah, it's the same thing. It's just spammed. Okay. Duke Rocks is saying, I'd like to see Scotty on ball usage more versus Siakam. I want them to be a two-headed monster come playoffs. That could very well develop over the season to happen that way. That I could see this happening. So let's let time see what happens. And in a couple months, maybe we'll have those answers, and we may see like a two-headed attack. Very kind of more equal between Scotty and Pascal. But if it doesn't happen completely that way, that's fine too, because Pascal really does have more experience and been through the fire more with it. And Scotty's going to have a learning curve, just like anybody. You know, we see Fred have a dud on Friday, but that's part of his learning curve. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Well, he had a step back on Friday, but he's going to have 2 steps forward on Monday. Watch. and stuff like that. Well, Scotty's going to have to go through that too. And the growing pains that we go through with Scotty is going to be similar to Pascal. He's going to have failure and he's going to have bad games. And people are going to be like, oh, we don't want to put the ball through him so much. It's just the beginning of his journey for that kind of stuff. As far as if he's going to be a go-to guy and a guy that scores and has the ball a lot. So we have to be ready for like a mixture of failure with success. And there may be more failure in some ways with Scotty trying to evolve his offensive game and go and become what you're talking about. So in some ways, it's better to go with what's already proven and has already been through a lot of the failure and is like gotten through it. And that's Pascal. So that's kind of why you don't want to do it too even. You may want to still be more heavy on Pascal because Scotty is still going through the learning process, the growing pains and stuff like that. Blue City saying, this is just my opinion, but I see nothing wrong with sports fans in general booing their own team. They booed their team because they know the players have potentials. I agree with this. I think that fans should be able to boo whoever they want. If we want to boo Joel, we should be allowed to boo him. People that get mad at us for booing him, whatever. If you want to boo your own team, I don't normally like to do that because like it's not really constructive or helpful to your team. It's just dumping on them even worse when they're already in a bad place. But I have no problem with other fan nations and even our fan nation. We have booed our own team at times, but I hate it. I hate it when we do it. And I've gotten mad at our fans for booing our team in different periods, especially during the expansion years and the Bosch Bargnani years. We did have some booers at the game, and I would get really pissed off at them. But yeah, freedom of speech, freedom of being able to do whatever. I just don't like it in our nation. But I have no problem with Philly fans booing their own team off the court and stuff like that, like they did in Game 5 of the playoffs last year and stuff like that. But I don't do it myself. I won't boo them even if they play really badly because I'm just that kind of unconditional supportive fan and stuff like that. But I don't see any problem with people booing their own team if they want to. Also, freedom to do that. I just don't like to do it myself. Blue City's saying they boo their players when they're not playing good, but they will love you when you're doing your best and winning a championship and taking accountability. Sure, sure. But there's more constructive ways of doing it. And in some ways, you just don't want to pile on when somebody's already down. It's harder for them to come and get back up sometimes and stuff like that. That's what my philosophy on it. But I mean, I love seeing other teams boo their team. Of course, I don't like seeing it here though. I really don't. Cool Cat saying we can't be soft with our bench. I remember in bench mob days, Fred VanVleet, Norm, Pascal, Jakob, Delon, they come on with energy right day one. Boucher is the standard. Come on with energy or you're out. Yeah, I could agree with this. But we got different guys that are doing this better. I mean, Koloko has such a motor and he's so up and down and an impact. Obviously, Delano is not slacking. He's getting out there and getting after it and stuff like that. So I agree with this. And yeah, I think we have guys that are pretty good bench players, but I'm not ready to say we have a bench mob yet. We'll see. It has to be a real thing and actually something that we really like. Well, we do have a bench mob right now, but I don't totally think we have it yet. But we could have it this year. The possibility is definitely there, better than last year. Let's see. Monica's saying I hated that most too, Lex. I was miserable with Vince, man. Yeah, that was a tough time. That was just it was what it was. And Charles Oakley was saying that he didn't really agree with it either and stuff like that. There were some problems with what happened, the way it went down. People weren't serious about the Raptors as they were now. That's what I'm saying. Our guys are so committed, they'll all come to Rico Hines this summer together on their own because they're committed to winning. Meanwhile, at that point in time, we had one of the most important playoff games in the history of the Raptors. Vince Carter wasn't committed enough to clear that day because he wanted to go do his graduation. I understand that it's important to him, but that's what I'm saying. Priorities are different for Raptors players than they were at that time. Vince did not have the priority to make that game the priority for his day. Meanwhile, with our Raptors, they are more likely to do that, make priority for things for the team to win. And that's a difference between Vince Carter era and how players looked at playing for the Raptors and how they do now. That it's a very strong commitment and they're dedicated now. They weren't as dedicated when Vince was on the team and stuff like that. That's just the damn truth. Blue City saying the New Jersey Nets won a championship, but when they transferred to Brooklyn, they have not won a championship. No, the Nets have never won. The Nets did not win a championship. They won an AWA championship. Yeah, ABA championship. They won in the other league in the 70s with Dr. J when he had the big fro. And that's not an NBA championship. That's an ABA championship, American Basketball Association championship. They've never won an NBA championship. The Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets franchise has never, ever won a championship. Shane saying, have a great Sunday, friends. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up real quick and be done. We're just over an hour. Trivia is never that long. Let's see. Kareem saying, I hate Philly, but out of all the NBA teams, they are the ones to be able to expose our two biggest weaknesses. They have a dominant center, and we can't keep up with Maxey. Yeah, those are two very dangerous, scary players. And then add in a top 75 player of all time, James Harden, who is dubiously on that list. In some ways, I don't agree that James should be on that list. That in some ways he hasn't earned it like the other guys in the top 75. He's just a Johnny come lately that's a good offensive player that doesn't necessarily deserve to be on the top 75, if you ask me. In fact, I might put Vince Carter on the top 75 over James Harden just because of certain things that he accomplished and in the prestige of him in some ways. And some people may think I'm crazy for saying that, but I do believe that. Monique saying Glenn Grunwald was at the game Wednesday. Forgot to mention, guys. Oh, good to see Glenn Grunwald, former GM of the Raptors, at the game and stuff like that. He was a good dude. I met him once. He's a nice guy. Lolita saying, I can't wait to see Scotty's face when he becomes an NBA champion, receiving his first ring. Yes, let's dream about it, pre-visualize it, and materialize it into reality. I'm all about that, Lolita. M. Jones is saying, depending on the situation, I guess, but being quick to boo, no place for it if you're a true fan. I agree with that. Let that be for the toxic fans. We'll boo other players on other teams, but don't boo the Raptors, especially in our own arena. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Scotty has great passes, but he is slow to manage the floor as a point guard. The pace slows down a lot as he's processing. So we have to give him time to develop that role. NBA pace faster than college and high school, for sure. For sure. And I think you're right to a degree. It's weird how quick Delano processes everything really quick. But there's an adjustment. There's to the game and stuff like that. And Sky's figuring it out. Blue City's saying, I respect your opinion. Not every fans are like that, but we can all agree that every fans are passionate for their team. Yeah. And I don't think that Sixers fans are just like people that are going to boo their team no matter what, whenever they want to and stuff like that. There are fans that don't like the booing too, that are like me too, I'm sure, and stuff like that. It's just, I know that you guys do that, and I have no problem with that. And you're right. If a team is so freaking bad, like if I was a Lakers fan, I'd probably boo them at games because I'd be so unsatisfied with the job that they're doing and the product they're putting out on the court. I don't want the Raptors to ever get that sewer down in badness, that it's so bad that I feel like I need to boo them. I want them to keep a level of excellence that just stays away from, like, there's no reason for us to boo them like that. That's kind of the way I look at it. Even if they shit the bed and have a really bad one game, I don't want to jump on them at that moment because I know that that's an anomaly. That's not necessarily a regular kind of occurrence, that they're having this shitty of a game. So why dump on them at that point? It's like they don't need it. That's the way I look at it. You're not a hardcore fan if you boo, in my opinion. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, M. Jones. And that's definitely not a Raptor freak kind of a behavior. Cowboy saying, I'm thinking our bench is really going to show up tomorrow. I hope so. The team's just warming up. I hope so. Blue City saying, oh, wow, did not know that. Thanks for giving me the update and correct me about the Nets. You learn something every day. Yeah, there you go. You guys have a championship. You have a few championships. They don't have one in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's never won a championship. The way you can tell is on the back of all the NBA jerseys, they have that little gold square that has the championship on it. And if your team has won a championship, you have that little thing on the jersey, and it'll have the number of championships your team has. So we have it on our jerseys, one, and the Lakers have it on theirs with how many they have, in Boston, Chicago, San Antonio. But a lot of teams don't have championships, so they don't have that little patch on the back of their jerseys, and the Nets are one of them. Let's see. Monique saying Pascal plus 50 Cent. Yeah, that was fun. That's a good costume and stuff like that. And it's cool. Pascal dressing him up like 50 Cent. Blue City saying, has there ever been a father and son that played on the same team? I know for a fact that Kobe Bryant's father used to play for the Sixers. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they played at the same time. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I know that we have a father-son connection with the Gary Trents. that we have his father played for us and now his son plays for us. And I'm sure that that's happened in a lot of different teams around the league already, but that's our particular father son kind of thing. But they didn't play together, obviously. Now, if LeBron plays with Bronny, is that going to be the first time it's like Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr. kind of stuff? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know the stats on this for sure. Jelly Bean Joe Bryant definitely played for the Sixers. He did definitely, but Kobe has never played for y'all. So that messes that up there with for your franchise. Duke Rocks is saying, since Masai took over the team, have Rap fans ever booed the Raptors? I want to say no, but they have. I think they booed them early on in the 2010s, and it may be that we got booed around like some of the disappointment with LeBronto stuff and stuff like that. I don't know. I can't say for sure. You might be right, Duke, but I have a feeling that we did boo the team at some point in the early time with Masai being here, but it hasn't been recently. I don't. I would say it probably hasn't happened in like 8 years, but it may have happened like before that, like before 2015. I think I can remember us booing them at some point. Tom Duke's saying 2023 NBA champions, Toronto Raptors. 2023 NBA champions, Toronto Raptors. Keep speaking it into existence. It will happen. Let's go. Let's go. Nameless saying, listen, man, you pay good money for your seats and entitled to do what you like to do. You want to boo, then go nuts. Plus, booing puts pressure on ownership to make changes when needed. Yeah, I agree with this. If there's a balance and checks and balances, the team is so shitty. Maybe the fans booing and letting their discontent with the team be known is part of the checks and balances of making the team better. It's like, this is not, we're not standing for this and that kind of thing. Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, you can, the thing about saying you pay good money and you should be able to do what you do, there's a line with that though also, because some of the fan behavior has been crossing lines lately. And just because you pay so much money for a certain seat doesn't mean you should be doing certain things still. So I say within reason, you're entitled to do what you want to do because there's some people that are a little out of pocket with what they're doing on the court. Like somebody chucked a drink at Luka the other day during the game. Yeah, in the middle of the game, and there was ice and water all over the floor. And the dude tried to escape, and they caught him on the way out, and he did get in big trouble for this. But he chucked that drink like he was trying to hit Luka in the back of the head. So there's limits with everything as far as like, yeah, you pay a lot, but you're not, doesn't give you license to just do whatever the fuck you want at a game too. And also I would say it doesn't give you license to like belittle and harass the players either. Like some of the treatment that Russell Westbrook's gotten in the last year is abhorrent, is awful. That he shouldn't have people yelling these kind of things at him during the game. Sure, he's a bum. You could call him Westbrick, sure. But when you start talking about his family or start saying ugly, vulgar things towards him, and there's kids around, I'm not down with that. Make your cat calling and jeering of him and booing of him creative, but in a way that's funny and witty and like not just so venomous and just ugly and disgusting and stuff like that. So there's a real battle with this. The Cool Cat saying I would call it 43 cents. It's not 50 cent, it's 43 cent. That's awesome. That actually works. I like that a lot. Cowboy saying we don't need changes, Nameless. Yeah, for our team specifically right now, for sure. He's just saying in general, like when your team gets to that point and there's a trouble that he feels like the team, the player, the crowd should be able to voice discontent or displeasure with the team and how it's performing. I agree with that. They should be allowed to do that, but there's no reason to do it right now because we're in good shape. We never booed under Masai leadership. I want to say that that's true, but I don't know for sure. Like I said, I want to leave it open just in case because I do feel like we may have booed in like 2014 around like, that Washington sweep that happened, the horrible series where we lost in the seventh game to Brooklyn, and it was a Kyle Lowry got fouled in the lane, but they didn't call it. That kind of, those kind of that around that time, I think we might have booed the team a little bit around that time, is what I'm saying. Blue City saying, but don't ever throw stuff at players. That I do not support. Yeah. And also, like, seriously, you can be witty in how you jeer and talk shit to the court in a way that isn't like it's actually works well. It's hitting a funny spot, a sweet spot, instead of just being like blatantly, you motherfucker, you piece of shit, you blah, blah, just going off and stuff like that. Yeah, Raptors 2023 NBA champions. Keep saying it and put it into existence. Wake up every morning and make it part of your daily mantra that you say in the morning. Raptors 2023 NBA champions. Just keep saying it. It'll happen. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep going. Abuse, you're no longer a fan. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they do that. I mean, Laker fans right now feel justified in coming at Russell in a very weird way right now. And in some ways, they're not justified because they're crossing lines and stuff like that, as far as like what they should be saying and stuff like that. All right, y'all, let me just get out of here. Bam, 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 bam. If you like anything that I've done on this stream today, please hit subscribe, share, comment, like, all that kind of normal YouTube stuff that they encourage you to do. Thank you for being here this morning for trivia. I'll have the scores all totaled up and in the comments very soon after I log off. I appreciate every one of y'all, Raptor freaks, and let's have a great Sunday. And then tomorrow, happy Halloween, previewing the Atlanta Hawks visiting the Scotty Bank Arena tomorrow night. And I'll have all the regular stuff for you as far as you know what to expect. The injuries, the referee report, the real mascot matchup, keys to the win, all that great stuff tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. So join me then. That's right. 2023 is our chip run before contracts are up. We're going to do it this year. We're going to do it next year. Let's go for a repeat, baby. Let's get repeats. Yeah, yeah. Monique's saying Rico Hines as a clown. Happy anniversary to you, Adriana and I. Oh, thank you, Monique. That's very nice of you. Yeah, we are celebrating our anniversary today and tomorrow. And yeah, Rico Hines was a scary clown, very scary clown. I didn't like that costume. It was in my nightmares. Well, we'll have to see how the Hawks are tomorrow and stuff like that. One more question from Blue City, and I'm gonna log off. Do you remember when Embiid did his own version of the Kawhi Leonard bounce in the playoffs against the Raptors? Of course, we remember that 3-point shot. It didn't really bounce that many times, but that was definitely a dagger. And yeah, that's a great important shot in Philadelphia 76ers history for sure. For sure. We don't forget that. We don't, because we're going to get you back. All right, salute to the real ones, and happy thank you, Cool Cat. I appreciate that also. Thank you, Isaac Campbell, and everybody. All right, let's go Raptors.